Welcome back to Stories of Significance here on the Vanguard Athletics Podcast Network. My name is Mike Teague, and I am joined by Jeff Melton. And today we are going to recap last week in Vanguard Athletics before jumping into our conversation with Justin Bartlebaugh, who's a freshman on the men's cross-country team here at Vanguard. So, Jeff, what happened this last week?
Busy week in Vanguard Athletics. So we had all of our teams were out on the road, so it was a little quiet around here last weekend. Not much going on. We'll make up for it this coming week, as we'll get to in a second. But volleyball went on the road, played at Masters on Friday, came back from down 0-2 to win that, kind of get the revenge over the game we lost here in the pit earlier this year. And then they went up to Santa Barbara, which is always a tough trip. Afterwards, 2 back-to-back days there, and came on the wrong side of that match. But they'll have a pair this weekend, so hopefully they'll get back on track. And then both the soccer teams went out to Arizona, came back with 4 victories, always a great thing. Really wild finish to the trip, as the men's soccer team went into double overtime. Started the game down 0-3 really quick, came and tied it back up, and then won 6-5 in double overtime. So you don't see many games with 11 goals anywhere, and especially against a heated opponent. Both teams are kind of at the top of the mix right now for the GSAC. So that was really nice to see them end on a victory. Yep. And then cross country, kind of traditionally run Saturday mornings, early wake ups. Neither of us would wake up that early for something like that.
Not for running.
Not for running at all. But they actually ran Friday afternoon at the Titan Invitational, and the women's team got another victory, beat a bunch of other conference teams and some out of NAI teams there at that meet, which is crazy. So they've won 2 straight. The next meet's going to be the GSAC Championship, so we're looking to make it 3 straight there. So exciting last week, but this week is shaping up to be just as exciting. Mike, why don't you walk us through, what to expect here within Vanguard Athletics for this week?
Yeah, so this upcoming week is going to be a busy one for us here at home. As you mentioned, last week was slow. This week, not at all. So men's and women's soccer, they're going to play in their final conference games. And senior day is actually going to be on Saturday. They've got a matchup in the midweek against Menlo, but they will play senior day against William Jessup. Both programs will play then, so that'll be exciting. Volleyball will also play this week in a couple matches. They'll play at Life Pacific University, and then they will go and we will host Hope International for the last home match of the season. And that's actually a big game because Hope International is the top in the conference right now. Mm-hmm. And then men's basketball is officially going to kick off their season. That's going to be late Saturday evening against La Sierra University. So busy. But that's crossover season, right? That's what we like.
Exactly. So if you don't have anything to do on Saturday, Vanguard Athletics can keep you entertained from 11 a.m. to about 11 p.m.
Yep.
So there's exciting things around here. And another exciting thing is the conversation that Mike had earlier this week with Justin on the cross-country team, as that program's gotten boosted up under Brian Wilkins and head coach Johnny Deregian, associate head coach Johnny Deregian. So exciting things are happening there. Mike, you had a great conversation. So let's go ahead, listen in with the chat you had with Justin, and then we'll visit back with you guys right afterwards.
All right, I'd like to welcome to the podcast studio Justin Bartlebaugh, member of our men's cross-country team. Justin, welcome here to our amazing podcast studio.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, major, sport, all that stuff.
So I'm Justin. I'm from Riverside, California. I'm majoring in religion with an emphasis in pastoral leadership. And I'm on the cross-country team here at Vanguard.
Did you go to Riverside Poly?
I did go to Riverside Poly.
All right. It's all right. He's a freshman here, so, still transitioning from Riverside Poly to Vanguard. So tell us how you did end up here. So obviously you were a good runner, a great runner over at Riverside Poly, which is a great program, a high school program there as well. How did you end up transitioning here to Vanguard?
Well, I always knew I wanted to run cross-country at a collegiate level once I started doing it in high school. And then I started looking for options where I could run. And then all of a sudden I was looking through my emails and I saw an email from Vanguard cross country, and it was from Coach Johnny. And then I responded, and then we started a conversation, and then I went on a visit, and I loved it here. immediately we were talking to Coach Johnny, and then eventually talking to Coach Wilkins, and then walking on the campus, getting to meet the team. It was just a great atmosphere that I wanted to be at automatically.
That's awesome. And I know that, Coach Johnny and Coach Wilkins are just like incredible men of God as well.
Yes.
Did that kind of play into your decision as well, like being able to be mentored by those type of coaches?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That was one of my biggest things. I wanted to go to a Christian school and run, so that Vanguard was an awesome opportunity to get to be here. And then Coach Johnny, I met with him during my visit, and just talking with him, seeing his heart, and I was like, this guy and Coach Wilkins, I'm like, these guys can be like awesome guys to be mentors in my life. I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I was looking for.
That's awesome. And now you're here, right? And so what's the season been like for you? First season running collegiately, a little bit longer than high school in regards to distance, right? So I know that there's obviously the transition into that. But what has that been like for you and for you and the team as well?
So in the beginning, it was pretty tough. I was just, during the summer, we are basically training on our own. Not like in high school where you get to train with your team throughout the summer. Everyone's all scattered all over the place. So training on my own during the summer was obviously a new task. And then going into the end of summer, I ended up re-injuring old injury, which was my plantar fasciitis. So that was kind of frustrating. I got set out for about a month. I ended up coming back halfway through our Mammoth trip. So I was working really hard to like keep sane and not wanting to like push myself too fast too early. Then I started getting it going and getting my training going, and it started off a little slow. But then I had my first race, and I got to feel what the collegiate 8K feels like. And like you said, it's a big jump going from 3 miles to almost 5 miles.
Yeah.
It was a big jump, but now I'm slowly getting into it. We're almost ending near the end of our season, so I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it. So yeah, it's been an awesome challenge though. I love the challenge of the new training, and then the new competition. It's been awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And so for you said making that jump from 3 miles to now 5 mile races. Have there been any courses that you've run throughout this year that maybe you hadn't run in the past that have been kind of like memorable for you, or that you've enjoyed more so than others? You guys have had a few races, but what's been one that stuck out to you so far?
All the courses I've raced this year have been new courses I had never ran at in high school. We never really ran out in Orange County, so running around Orange County is also in like Santa Clarita. We also have been up there at the Masters course, and that course was probably one of my favorites because in high school, one of my favorite courses, even though I didn't race a lot, was Mount Sac. It's a really big course. A lot of people hate that course, but I loved it because it's a big challenge. It's not easy. There's a lot of hills, and that's kind of what Masters gives you. It's a lot of dirt. It's a lot of hills, and it just offered a really good challenge that I liked, and that's been my most memorable course this season.
That's good. Yeah, I know that, this is me running a long time ago, freshman year, and after that, of high school, I was like, nope, that's it.
Yeah.
But Mount Sac was always kind of like that pinnacle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's cool to see that Masters kind of has that same feel. And then you still have the GSAC championships coming up here as well, just 2 weeks, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that? Looking forward to that?
Oh yes. I've been so blessed to have a great season so far. I've been able to PR every race. So I'm looking to finish that off and quite possibly maybe get the team, or if it comes down to it, individual to nationals. Ultimately, that's a big goal, but I'd love to get there as a freshman. That'd be awesome. But definitely, I'm not focused on that. We're focused on GSAC right now, doing well as a team, doing well individually to help the team get the team to nationals, because that's been our goal since the summer. But I'm very excited for it. It's on our home course at the Vanguard course that we raced at the Vanguard Invitational. We had a really good showing there.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it and hoping to really compete.
Yeah, no, that's good. I know you guys have been dealing with some injuries as well, and it's been tough. So I'm excited to see in the next couple of weeks how you guys are able to respond to that and just compete with the rest of the GSAC teams too, right? And so
yeah, definitely. It's GSAC has definitely gone up in competition. I feel like we, as a team, have grown since last year from what I've seen and what I've heard from the guys, and it seems like other teams in the conference have also stepped it up.
Mm-hmm.
So just more of a challenge. So yeah, we struggle with a lot of injury, but that just means other guys have to step up.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of guys I've seen in workouts and stuff that are really starting to step up, and I'm excited to see that conference when it really gets all put together.
That's good. Yeah, you want to peak at the end of the year, and
Oh,
so
definitely.
hopefully you guys are doing that this next couple weeks. So just a pitch, if you guys want to go out to the GSEC Championships. That's it's Friday, right? It's Friday.
Yes, Friday the
8th?
November 8th.
It's the 8th, yeah. Friday the 8th over at Irvine Regional Park. So it's just our plug to go watch Justin race and the rest of the team as well. But let's transition more into the school side of things. So what has Vanguard been like for you so far? And what are some things that you might be looking forward to in the, you're almost done with your first semester, but throughout this first year, what has it been like for you so far?
It's definitely been a big change going from high school to college. It's always talked about. People are like, oh, like it's totally different. It is totally different. You have a lot of all new faces. But here at Vanguard, there's a very really good community aspect here, and that's that's another reason why I wanted to come here, because I knew that I wanted a school with a lot of community, and there's small class sizes, so it works so well, and I think that's helped my transition be a lot easier, rather than going to a bigger school with a lot more kids. But so far it's been really good. I've really loved it here. Meeting all the teammates as well as new people, just in my classes and stuff. But I really look forward to meeting even more people, getting involved more. Just with cross country, it's been so busy, but I'm looking forward to just working my time out, and then hopefully getting involved in as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And so, you've talked about this first semester with cross country, second semester, I'm assuming track, right?
Yes.
You'll be jumping into that season. What excites you about track? Is there anything different for you that you enjoy about track as opposed to cross country?
Yeah, actually for me, it's almost like two totally separate sports for me, because cross country, it's a lot of long distance, a lot of long distance running. Your races are long distance.
Right.
But in track, I prefer, and I feel like I excel at more the middle distance, so the 800 meter or the 1500 meter.
Yeah.
Rather than going to the 5K, 10K, 3000. I personally love the middle distance, just the speed aspect, and it really just changes things up. In high school, I love that. Because after cross country, I'm kind of burnt out, but then track, it's a whole new fire lit, getting my speed going, and that's what I'm really excited about this year, is having such a big base and really good base under me. I'm ready for track season to see what I can do with that base, and then start gaining my speed back. So I'm really excited for track for that.
Yeah, that's great, and you'll have a good chunk of time between you can rest a little bit and then jump right into it as well, right? So that'll be good in that second semester. You're going to know so many more people on campus as well, and I think it'll be just more comfortable for you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's good. So what are some things, maybe, I know you guys don't have a super old team, right?
Yeah.
The cross-country team isn't old, but what are some things you might have learned from some of your older teammates and some maybe even other student athletes that you've been able to meet with just about your time as a freshman, and maybe some good pointers that you've tried to pick up?
Yeah, definitely. I've our team's very young. We have 6 freshmen and 2 sophomores and a junior. So that's really cool to have.
Right.
But at times they can be missing the really senior leader on our team. But there's people that have stepped up. Caleb Myers is our captain. He's our guy on the team. He's really stepped up, and he performs at a really high level, and he really helps us out whenever we need it. And then also Josh Anderson is another big leader on our team. Those are top 2 guys.
Yeah.
They pull us all the way through workouts, and they really just help us out with advice before races, during workouts, whenever we need the encouragement. Even we have other guys stepping up, 2 of my roommates, Blake and Tate. Tate's hurt right now, but he's still helping the team out, really encouraging us, and Blake's been really encouraging to me. But yeah, so those are some freshman leaders, some older guys, and I've also got some insight from other leaders here on campus, whether it be, Activate, the freshman leadership team.
Yeah.
So I've met some leaders there, and them be able to speak into me and like about the college experience, and also in Champions of Character class, talking with like line leaders, also other student athletes about what they go through with their different sports, and it's a really good eye-opening. It's really good to see what they go through in their sports and like be able to relate it back to my sport and see, okay, maybe they're doing this. Maybe I should be looking into that when I work out. So just seeing different perspectives helps a lot.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think a lot of times, I think the Champions of Character class is a great example of being able to talk with other athletes, because a lot of times you see other sports, but you don't really know what they're going through until you actually talk with them. And so once you get into the small groups, you can see, oh man, like they've been, like the wrestling team has been cutting weight. Like that's crazy right now, or like the softball team just played doubleheaders. Like, man, they're all working super hard, right?
Yeah.
And so just good to get those perspectives.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, when I see we have like 5:30 a.m. practices, and I see softball out there in the weight room, or women's basketball out there in the weight room, or like men's basketball in the gym, or wrestling going off to go practice.
Yeah.
It's really like, okay, we're not the only ones having to go through this. There's other teams having to go through it too, and like fight through it. And like, it's really cool to see that grind that they're going through too. So
yeah, no, that's good. It's like kind of have that camaraderie of like, we are all the same athletics department. We're all competing for the same university, right? So
definitely.
It's cool to see that. So you touched on it a little bit, but what were the tangible goals that you had for yourself coming into this season, and what are they right now?
Definitely I wanted to just excel in the team and help my team do whatever, or help the team in any way I can. Obviously going in with the injury, I was a little skeptical to see what I could do, but I was determined to fight through, get healthy, and then start my training from the beginning, and then build my way up. So I feel like that's what I've been able to do. But in the beginning, I really wanted to make that top 5 scoring team, and then help the team out in conference. We've struggled. We haven't had the race that like breaks us through yet to get us ranked, but we're hoping to really have a good showing at conference. So I really wanted to help my team place well at conference and hopefully get us to nationals. So that was my biggest goal, was to get my time low as possible. I want to get down to 26 minutes or below for my 8K.
Okay.
Right now I'm about 50 seconds off, so that's a big gap to drop.
Yeah.
But training has been going super well, so maybe I can break out that race and finish off the year with a PR and maybe even get us to nationals.
Yeah, that's good, because the difference between 50 seconds is a huge number of points, right?
Yes.
And that's the thing is, when you get into those conference meets, it's not just those invitationals where you have a few runners or a few teams here or there, but everyone's there, and the difference between finishing 50th and 25th it could be that 50 seconds, right?
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points, right? And so that's good that you have that mindset of if everyone can just push even just a little bit more, you guys have an opportunity to make a big impact, right?
Yes.
So that's awesome. Let's step into the spiritual side of things. How do you feel that God is challenging you right now in this season of your life, and in this stage of your life?
Right now, being with a whole new group of people, you're meeting people for the first time a lot. So my biggest thing is trying to be as genuine as possible and being the best light I can be to others. Really, I want people to be able to see God's love through me. So that was my biggest goal coming into college, being really like diving into my faith and growing in it, and really acting it out, not just saying I can read the Bible or saying I'm a Christian, but really acting it out. So that was my biggest thing, and I feel like God's really challenging me that, like on my team as well as in the classroom and just around school, is being we're called to be different. So being set out and showing God's love to everywhere I go, and that's a challenge because it's easy to get caught up in life and everything, but I feel like God's really challenged me in that aspect of like being different, and really doing God's work and showing God's love.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. I think it's, if we can be that light to others that, maybe they don't see Christ in other areas of their life, but if you can show that one piece of light, like, oh man, what is different about Justin? Like, what is different about him? Maybe I'll go talk with him and ask him, like, what's different? It's God. Jesus is the one who's given me all the joy and has given me all that. And I think sometimes you forget that people are watching you and continually seeing how you respond, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I heard just this week, I forget where I heard it. It might have been one of my classes, but someone said, you might be the only person that people see, and you might be the only person like they could see that is a Christian. So you are their Jesus in a sense.
Yeah.
So
that's in character class, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew I heard it recently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that really took to heart. I'm like, man, like how can people view me? And how can they view, okay, what's different about Justin?
Yeah.
So I really want them to walk away like, what's different? And then when they see like it's God, they're like, who is this God?
Yeah.
So if they can go away with that, like that's just a crazy thing that I would love to have them walk away with.
That's great. That's so good. And so I think that kind of ties into what you're looking to do in the future as well, right? And so
Yes.
you touched on it a little bit, but looking towards the future, what are your plans? You've got 4 years, but what are the plans after graduation? What are kind of the goals for yourself there?
Definitely. Like I said before, I'm a religion major with emphasis in pastoral leadership.
Right.
So that kind of defines itself there, but I'd love to go into the ministry after college and then do God's work and spread God's word. And eventually, like, I go to Sandals Church in Riverside, and I'd love to go back there, possibly work there. We're growing so much, and I'd love to be a part of that mission, and hopefully go into youth ministry maybe to start out, really speak into kids' lives in such a crucial point in their lives, because I know for me that's when I was reached in high school, and that's when my life really changed spiritually. So if I can have that impact on other kids, maybe even just one, they might have that feeling to go off, and maybe they're going to go be called to do that same thing. So just to be able to go spread God's word in the best way I can. So that's what I want to do. But yeah, I really have a big heart for sharing God's word and sharing God with other people. So if I can go do that, that's ultimately what I want to do wherever I can.
That's good. And that's, it's so good and refreshing to hear students just wanting to do that and feeling that call and tug to their life, because working in ministry, it's you have to be called to that, right?
Yes.
And that's something that God really has to call you towards and have that heart towards. And so that's awesome to hear. And you've got, I think in the next 4 years, you have so many incredible people who are around you who can really help you plug into that too. So just continue to lean into that, because man, there are some awesome people here.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
There definitely
and I'm sure
is.
you've learned in some of your classes as well.
Yes.
Some of those are cool. Are you taking any pastoral leadership classes yet? Have you jumping into any of those?
No, we haven't had any classes like that yet, but I've some of the classes that have been really impactful was like some religion classes like Intro to Theology or Intro to Biblical Languages.
Right.
Intro to Biblical Languages, that's with Dr. Jackson.
Okay.
And I just love her heart for like her students, and then for teaching. In my class, it's the teaching of Hebrew and Greek. So the word, the languages of the Bible. And it's so crazy thing I've got out of that class. It's so different to hear what the Bible has to say in Hebrew and Greek. And then here in relation to the English, it almost doesn't. English doesn't do the Hebrew as much justice.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing to hear the different stories and what God does in people's lives in just a new light. But that was been awesome. And then in Intro to Theology, just hearing or seeing the study of God, going in deeper than just regular, it's allowed me to really like deepen my thought of God and my faith. So it's been really awesome.
That's good. I'm sure, growing up in church, you understood and understand who God is and understand the Bible, and then you jump into those theology classes and biblical languages, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm reading the Bible in a new way. It's almost like you reread the Bible. And
yes,
it's
definitely.
It's so exciting to do that stuff. So that's great. I love that Vanguard offers those courses and really lean into those for our students too. So love that you're getting that out of it. Well, that's all we have for today. But Justin, thanks so much for joining us in.
Thank you.
And on the podcast and kind of hopping in here. So once again, if you guys would like to watch Justin run, it'll be November 8th. It'll be a Friday at Irvine Regional Park. So feel free to go onto our website, check that out. But thanks so much again, Justin. Good luck the rest of the season, and we'll talk around campus soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome back to Stories of Significance here. Mike, that was an awesome time you had with Justin earlier. Why don't you just break down a couple of your favorite highlights? I know what it was for me sitting here listening in, but what was your favorite takeaway from that?
Yeah, definitely. Justin is a freshman, right? And so he's new to Vanguard Athletics. He's new to everything here. And I think what stood out to me is just his maturity and his willingness to step into leadership early on, and knowing that he has an opportunity to help his team, and not just on the course, so to speak, but also in the community as well. And he's already jumped in and joined a couple programs on campus, including Activate, which is for freshman students to really get involved on campus and kind of a leadership role there. So for me, it's just he's mature. He knows what he wants, and he knows how to get the most out of his experience here. And so just really excited to see how he continues to surround himself with good people and good mentors as well. And he's well on his way to becoming a Vanguard legend, so to speak, right, as a freshman. So really great kid.
Yeah, it's great as we've, interviewed some student athletes here. We caught a couple people towards the end of their career with, Jared being a fifth-year senior and Sam Rice being in the middle of her senior season. And so it's so interesting to juxtapose that with someone who's only been at Vanguard for about 2.5 months now, and just the different ways the university is impacting them during both seasons of their life. So we thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Stories of Significance. We want to make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to the podcast. It's available on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play, as well as being available on YouTube and Facebook videos. So we thank you for listening it. Be sure to tell your family and your friends, and we will see you next Tuesday here on Stories of Significance on the Vanguard Podcast Network.